Sydney, the daughter of O.J. Simpson, lives a simple existence in a shady Florida neighborhood after escaping her troubled past in Los Angeles. Florida's St. Petersburg, it appears that O.J. Simpson's youngest daughter is out of juice. According to information obtained by the Post, Sydney Simpson appears to have fallen far from the lap of luxury and ended himself in a little condo in a fairly unglamorous area of suburban Florida. The 40-year-old lives in a ground-floor, 955-square-foot apartment in St. Petersburg, a world away from the expansive Los Angeles mansion her family once called home before her mother, Nicole Brown Simpson, and Nicole's friend Ronald Goldman were brutally murdered outside on June 13, 1994. New photos provide a rare glimpse into her quiet, simple life in St. Petersburg. Sydney, who was just 8 years old at the time, was allegedly asleep in one of the 4 bedrooms of the 3,400-square-foot Brentwood house when Goldman and her mother were fatally stabbed in the courtyard. In a well-known trial of the century, Sydney's NFL Hall of Fame father would subsequently be found not guilty of the killings. Sydney lives in a 1-story, 2-bedroom apartment in a squat building with 3 other apartments, almost 30 years later. It is only one of the 27 dilapidated white stucco and beige buildings that comprise Casablanca condominiums, a tranquil community tucked away between a worn golf course and the busy 4-lane 54th Avenue South. According to property records, Sydney paid $135,000 in cash for the tiny home in December 2020. The unit's current estimated value is close to $216,000, which is about $125,000 less than the current typical property value of $340,000 in St. Petersburg. Residents told the Post that her neighborhood, known as the South Side of St. Pete, is rougher than the rest of the peninsula. The city does not invest any money in the area between 54th, Aves, and downtown St. Petersburg. According to 75-year-old masonry worker Peter Gaunt, who has lived in the region for 50 years, those people have been living the same way forever. There is no good housing, and none of the affordable housing is decent. They are impoverished and have lesser incomes. They are covered by Medicare, Medicaid, and, if they qualify, SNAP. Nothing exists in the area of town, including employment options. The money is somewhere north of downtown. He added, there's a perception of danger in the area, according to a 30-year-old consultant named Austin. From a grocery store parking lot a mile west of Sydney's residence, Austin remarked, South St. Pete is not the absolute safest historically, but it's slowly but surely gentrifying. I've never had any problems, but I believe there is comparatively more crime and legal infractions here compared to the north side of St. Pete. According to police reports that the Post was able to obtain, 2 of Sydney's neighbors' cars were broken into overnight on November 7th. The thief, who was still at large this month, took $20 in cash and a $10 Starbucks gift card from the glove box of one automobile and $40 in cash from the glove box of another. According to police records, both vehicles were secured and parked a short distance from Sydney's usual location in the complex's shared lot for her white Hyundai Palisade. The Post has seen an unidentified man and 2 young children, a boy and a girl, entering and going from Sydney's house on a regular basis during the last 2 weeks. She was frequently spotted keeping an eye on a youngster while he rode a green bicycle while wearing a Spider-Man helmet. However, their relationship is still unknown. The space leading up to her front door was littered with the bike, a large brown deck box, an abandoned clay flower pot, and a floral outdoor mat behind a row of clipped shrubs. One morning, Sydney was also seen dropping the kids off at a local daycare. Her other errands included frequent visits to 2 neighboring dilapidated apartment buildings, as well as stops at the local post office and CVS. Strangely, she lately spent a significant portion of the day, roughly 6 hours at a time, in a 4-bedroom, more than 3,300-square-foot house in the peninsula's affluent Allendale area. According to property records, the stunning Spanish-style house is owned by a relative of former St. Petersburg City Councilman Robert Blackman, with whom Sydney was allegedly dating in 2017. When contacted by the Post, a pair who claimed to be Blackman family members declined to speak. Sydney apparently worked as a real estate agent in the past, but it's unknown if she has a job right now or how she makes ends meet. Sydney seems to have had trouble behind the wheel much like her late father, whose police-led white Bronco pursuit following the killings captured the nation's attention. According to records, she has 7 traffic violations since 2014 in Pinellas County for allegedly speeding, driving without insurance and with suspended license, and having an expired automobile registration. Although her father was notoriously found not guilty of killing Goldman, 25, and his 35-year-old ex-wife at a criminal trial, their family sued him, and in 1997, O.J. was judged accountable for $33.5 million in civil judgments related to the killings. By the time he passed away from cancer on April 11, 2024, at the age of 76, that amount had increased to almost $100 million with interest. To make matters worse, the former star running back for the Buffalo Bills never paid off more than $5 million in delinquent state and federal tax liens. Whether Sydney or her brother Justin, O.J.'s second kid from his 8-year marriage to Nicole, got any money from their father's estate is still unknown. Around Thanksgiving 2018, Sydney and her father were last seen in public photos in St. Petersburg. O.J. never acknowledged being responsible for the murders, despite serving 9 years in prison for an armed robbery in Las Vegas in 2007. Sydney has never discussed her family's difficult past in public. When the Post recently reached out to her, she declined to comment